Enjoy some fabulous rewards. Get a cool £10 reward when you receive £100 or more from the UK. Tell your friends and family in the UK to send money to your mobile money wallet or bank account using Express Pay and get an extra £10. Terms and conditions apply.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 10th edition of the Ghanaian Community Awareness Forum. As always, my name remains Emmanuel Kwesi, the chairman of Ghana Union. Today, we are here to discuss matters which are peculiar to the diaspora and all those who have some dealings or one way or the other have had the need to seek the assistance of our mission. As always, we have to go through the protocol for today, and I do welcome you to this forum. On behalf of the Ghana Union, UK and Ireland, and on behalf of all the partner organizations, the Ghana Nurses Association, the Western Regional Association of Nurses UK, the Nightingale Nurses UK, our supporting organizations, Omega Live TV, and of course, Ghana High Commission, who has given us the grace to present to you this rather good panel for you to understand the issues of the day. Express Pay, the most fastest, reliable, and beneficial way of sending money. You send £100 or more, and you get a cool £10 on top of what you sent. So there's not loses here. You can only win on that. So we ask you to utilize their services so they can help us to bring to you some of these programs going forward. As always, our rules remains that all audience will be muted, except when it's time for Q&A, where you'll be allowed to unmute yourself. Audience to say their name, if you can, it'll be good. We need to know who we are interacting with, and we need to know whether we need to get back to you. Our audience, our panelists need to be able to know if there is anything specific that they need to reach out to you. So it'd be good if you can mention your name And then also where possible, and I do say where possible, because I know you are all listening from the comfort of your homes, but where possible, if you want to talk, it would be good to see who we are engaging with by showing your face. You can also raise your hand using the Zoom icon and raise your hand so that at least we don't, your questions doesn't get mixed in the circle of things. So if you raise your hand, once it's Q&A, I will call you to do so. You will not be allowed to share any screen access or nothing of that sort. It will be purely the panelists who may, if they choose to, share their screen with us if they have any presentation to go through. And lastly, may I ask that, as you can imagine, we will have some people definitely want to ask questions, so don't come giving us background story about High Commission and who was there and which High Commissioner was there and who was good or which party did the best job. This is not a political platform. This is an information gathering, awareness, and education platform where we educate, we inform, and we make you aware of things. So my plea to you is that when you come to ask your questions, go straight to the point. Ask the question, and we have highly skilled individuals who will be able to answer your questions tonight. And that is the order of the day this evening. We will have an engagement with you. The first 1 hour, or if not more, will be assigned to the panelists to go through anything that we have asked them to talk about. And the remaining hour will be for you to ask your questions. So please take note, pay attention where possible, and listen to what they've got to tell us. That will hopefully help you to articulate your views when the right time comes. So thank you for joining. As always, we are grateful for your continued support. And tonight, as the flyer and all the marketing material says, we have with us the Ghana High Commission, UK and Ireland, the team that oversee the issues around passports, visas, and to some extent welfare, and also can give us where we are with the issue of dual citizenship. Without much ado, I'm going to introduce to you the panelists for the day. But before I do that, I would like to make you aware. On the issue of passport, our panelists will be seeking to address the issue around requirement for obtaining a Ghana passport. They will also go through application process, documentation, and timelines. They will also talk about application fees, payment types, and processes. Passport validity is something that people keep asking, even though some of us, I'm sure we've made enough awareness already. But how long will your passport be valid once you get it? Appointment procedures. We all know some people will say, oh, I got 6 weeks in advance, I have meeting tomorrow. So they will give you an indication of the procedures in terms of how long it takes to be able to go to Highgate for your biometric and other things. They will give us some indication of why some delays happen and protocols in place to remedy that situation. And then obviously they will talk through the biometric fingerprinting processes and procedures in place at Highgate. On the issue of visa, they will be looking to address types of visas, document that you require, and the cost. They will look at timelines and application from application to the time you get your visa, and also go through information about visa issuance on arrival. There has been times people have wanted to know whether they can go to Ghana and on arrival at Kotoka, can they get a visa rather than going through the system here? If there's any information they will give us. We also have an area we don't talk much about. We also have an area called travel certification. How does that work? If somebody has to go to Ghana and doesn't have a passport, there's an emergency, how does travel certificate work? Its requirements, issuance and process and cost. And then obviously COVID-19 COVID-19 has also become an issue now, and it's impacted on travel to Ghana. So any general visa information they have regarding travel to Ghana via transit route. What I mean is if you were to travel through Paris, Belgium, Amsterdam, Turkey, or any other route, or Morocco, any other route that you are aware of that you usually use, do they have anything that they can advise us? That, I have to say, will only be an advice because it's not a government within their jurisdiction, so they can only give us what they have been told to tell us. I hope you get my point. On the issue of dual citizenship, we'll go through process of acquiring. If at all there is any need for you to get a dual citizenship card, what are the process? What documentation, cost and timelines for securing such a card? We will also highlight the differences between using your Ghana passport versus dual citizenship card. Some people have been calling asking, I have a dual citizenship, can I go to Ghana without a passport? How does that work? And any general information they will have around dual citizenship. So tonight we have a lot to go through, and they will aim to do so within the next hour. It's almost 7:13, and I will now introduce our guests for tonight. Tonight, we are privileged to have in our midst two distinguished panelists who are versed in the field of the High Commission itinerary and the work that they do. We have with us our own Minister Councillor, the Honorable Mr. Owusu Ansah. Mr. Owusu Ansah is the head of Consular and Welfare at the Ghana High Commission here in the UK. Welcome, Mr. Owusu Ansah. Thank you very much for your time. And I'm sure by the end of the day, our audience will get as much information as they have always wanted to know. We also have with us a distinguished lady who is distinguished in her field of work within the mission. In fact, she's the Minister Councillor and in charge of immigration and passports. So without her signature, your passport probably will not get to you. So she's the right person to have this evening. Minister, Mrs. Josephine Donkor, please, you're welcome to this evening. We thank you both for taking the time, and we thank the mission for making it possible for you to appear on this panel. And on behalf of the Ghanaian Community UK, I welcome you to the Community Awareness Forum. So without any preference, I will let you take over, as I'm sure you would have planned who want to go first, but we are now at your mercy to listen to you, to give us all the things that you want to tell us around the issues I've highlighted already. Thank you very much and welcome. Feel free to unmute yourself and get started. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kwesi, and good evening to everyone, fellow compatriots. I must say that it's an honor done us by inviting us as a mission to speak to this issue of passport and visas, which I believe is something that is dear to the hearts of every Ghanaian in the UK and then the Republic of Ireland. Because as you know, the mission is accredited to the UK and then the Republic of Ireland. And so our activities are not only restricted to the United Kingdom, but then also the Republic of Ireland. Having said that, I think I want to say a few, a little bit of housekeeping, and that has got to do with the way we've structured today's event among ourselves as panelists. As head of Consular and Welfare, of course, my activities or my function include supervising the activities of the passport and immigration section. But then there is a head, a substantive head, who is in charge of the day-to-day administration of the unit, that is the passport and immigration unit. And so by way of presentation, or by way of the way we're going to conduct today's event, I'll give a general overview of the activities, the consular activities. And then when it gets to, at some point, she would come in and then talk about the details. I mean, she will give us the details as to the day-to-day activities that go on at the Highgate office. To start with, let me say that every country establishes a mission with a view to promoting the interests of its nationals. That is very basic, which means that aside the fact that countries need to conduct diplomatic relations with host countries, countries also deem it fit to establish missions. I mean, embassies and high commissions in the case of Commonwealth nations to promote the interests of its nationals. And so our presence here as a mission and for members who represent the mission is basically to serve the interests of Ghanaians. I am saying this in the sense that sometimes we do get the impression, or people do get the impression, that the mission is out there perhaps just to make money by charging people to pay passports, to pay for passports and visas, and that we are not here to promote or protect the interests of our nationals. We are here to protect and promote the interests of our nationals, and that is very fundamental. Having said that, I must say that the issue of passports and visas are basic. I mean, every country which has said that those are the key functions of the consular section. And so today we will do our best to ensure that at least we are able to clear the air and some misconception associated with our function as a mission in relation to passports and visas. Per the invitation sent to us from the Ghana Union, and specifically Mr. Kwesi, who sent the email to the High Commissioner, where we are supposed to talk about requirements for obtaining a Ghanaian passport, the application process, documentation and timelines, applicable fees, payment types and processing, the passport validity, appointment procedures and timelines, possible cause of delays, and other things. In the case of visas, it's basically the same. The requirements, the documents needed, and then also issue of travel certificates, COVID protocols and all. We will do our best in the next few minutes to talk about some of these things. But then, having given us the opportunity, maybe we won't get the chance again or the opportunity again. We will also touch on the issue of attestation of documents, and then specifically also lay emphasis on the issue of emergency travel certificates, because of recent, that is also a document that is in high demand by our compatriots. And so we also do well to talk about the issue of travel certificates and other consular documents that the mission issues to our compatriots. In the case of passports, as per the invitation that came, when we talk about Ghana passport, one thing we need to understand from the outset is the fact that the passport that is issued to every individual belongs to the government of Ghana. And when we pick our passports and we look at the first page, the inner page, it is clearly written there that the document belongs to the government of Ghana and it is issued to only Ghanaian nationals. The statement there goes on further to say that when you travel to any country where Ghana has a mission, you must do well to register or report yourself to the mission. I know this is an area that majority of us do not do, and that people will only come to the mission whenever there is a need for consular services. But it is a requirement by the government of Ghana that whenever you are in any country, your first point of call should be the mission. Moving from that, then talking about the issue of what constitutes the requirement of a passport. The first thing is that you need to be a Ghanaian. to be able to hold a Ghanaian passport. And who is the Ghanaian? You could be Ghanaian by birth, it could be by registration, it could be by naturalization. Once you satisfy this basic or fundamental requirement, it means you do qualify to hold a Ghanaian passport. Like I said earlier, my colleague will be talking about the details, but then I would want to give the general overview of our activities. And so if people show up to apply, or people go on our system to apply for passport, first and foremost, you need to satisfy that basic requirement that you are a Ghanaian. Having traveled to the UK to apply for a passport, that suggests that you must have traveled on a passport. And so that is also a requirement. We must have a look, or we should see the passport you are holding for which you want to renew. That is not to say that people who are born here can't apply for passport. No. Ghanaians born in the UK can also apply for Ghanaian passport, in which case it wouldn't be a requirement of having the requirement of having a Ghanaian passport wouldn't hold. But then there must be evidence to show that you are Ghanaian. One may ask somebody who wasn't born in Ghana or hasn't traveled to Ghana, what will be the evidence that the person is Ghanaian? That is where we have to at least make sure you have a birth certificate. So you need to produce your birth certificate, and then the parents of the individual will need to attest to the fact that this person who is applying for the passport for the first time is Ghanaian. And so there must be proof of Ghanaian citizenship. And we will usually request for the originals. Once we are satisfied that they are genuine, we give you back your document. And then also, you will need to pay for the document. There are various fees that we charge, and I will go through that. There are also situations whereby an individual could turn up to say that my passport is missing or stolen. If the passport is missing or stolen, there must be a proof to show that the document is stolen. And usually, the first requirement will be for the individual to produce a police report. But we do understand the difficulty involved in trying to secure one, that in trying to obtain a police report in this country. And so there is an element of flexibility in this. And that is when we ask that in the absence of a police report, then go and swear an affidavit to say that I'm so and so, holder of Ghanaian passport with number so and so, which is missing, and that you would want to apply for a new passport. I think the solicitors usually know how to craft such documents. And then if you have a copy of the document, you need to state. There are also instances whereby the people or the applicant will say that I don't have a copy. I don't even remember the passport number. Still go ahead and swear the affidavit. It is acceptable. Aside that, I have mentioned the issue of the fees involved, and I want to go through the schedule for the fees. If it is a first passport application, that is usually for those who were born here, it used to be £180. But then, thanks to the pressure from the community and others involved, the government of Ghana last year reduced the price of passports from £180 to £100. And so if you are renewing your passport, you are applying for passport for the first time, it is £100. If it is a lost passport or a stolen passport, it is £170. If it is a damaged passport, because there are instances whereby people show up or applicants will indicate that their passport is damaged. Yes, we do also process passport for applicants whose passports are damaged, and that is £110. But this goes for passport booklets that are 32 pages, because we have two types of the passports. We have the 32-page document, and then we have the booklet, which is also 48 pages. For the 48-page document, the first time application or renewal costs £165. The lost application is £235, and the damaged passport is £175. One may ask, why is it that people pay more when their passport gets missing? The history I may not be able to produce, but then my understanding is that it serves as a punitive measure, because in the past, people, when we used to have the machine readable passport, people will hide passports and then will show up to say that, the passport is missing. They will change their names, they will do all sort of things. And so this was introduced to deter people from showing up to say that their passports are missing, and also encourage people to be very careful in the handling of their documents, valuable documents like the passport. This fees does not apply to our nationals in the Republic of Ireland, in the sense that it's a part of EU, and so they pay in euros, and so their fees are a bit different in terms of the euro equivalent, and I don't think it's necessary that I go through that. Then we talk about how do you pay. Hitherto, we were accepting postal orders and also payment at the counter. But then now there is no pay. We don't accept payment at counter. All payments are done online. It means that before you get your appointment to show up at the Highgate office, you must have paid for the passport. And let me emphasize this. Per the Government of Ghana Financial Management Regulations, consular fees once paid are not refundable, except in situations whereby there is evidence to show that there is multiple payment. That is, you pay for one service more than once. In that case, yes, once it is established that you paid for the same service more than once, the refund can be effected. And then also, in situations whereby, we are able to establish beyond reasonable doubt that, I don't know how to put it, but then I can cite an example. Somebody pays for a service and the person, excuse me to say, dies before the appointment date. It has happened before. The person had paid for the passport, but before he could turn up for the service, the person lost his life. And so the family made a case. It's quite reasonable. And so in such instances, once it is established beyond reasonable doubt, something can be done. Aside that, all consular fees once paid are non-refundable. There is also the issue of instances whereby passports are delayed. And what causes the delay? There is something we basically need to understand, that when it comes to the processing of passports, when we capture the data, the biometric data, everything is sent electronically to Accra, so that this data is reconciled with the master database in Accra. That is how the system is structured. Reason being that some people or some applicants apply for passports in Ghana. They travel to the UK, decide to apply for new passports, and will not indicate that they had earlier applied for passports. But then we do keep this data, the biometric data captured in Ghana is in Ghana. But then to avoid a situation whereby there is duplication or multiplication of visas, people decide to obtain more than one visas. That is why that is why the system is structured in such a way that the data is transmitted to Accra electronically to reconcile with the master database. And it is done electronically. And so it is not as if we carry the document physically to Ghana. And so once it is transmitted, the system does the reconciliation. When there's no problem with it, we are given the go ahead to print. There is no way we can sidestep that. And we all know we are from a developing country. Sometimes there could be challenges with internet connectivity. And so basically, most of the delays arise out of that. When the data is transmitted to Accra and there's a hitch in Accra, it affects us. So that is what causes the delay. What are the protocols in place to address this? The first thing is we mount pressure on Accra. This is what is happening, and this is UK. People are very sensitive to some of these things, and so as much as possible, please do your best. And so when we give a processing time of between 2 to 3 weeks, it is because we make room for some of these things. And that's why when the delays are at least within a week or two, the issues could be rectified and we are able to get a passport issued. And that also explains why, to an extent, we don't have express or expedited passport services. That is being looked into until such a time that we are able to address some of these things. We feel that, or we believe that we need to stick to the standard passport. It is being looked at. And so until we get to that point, we will continue to issue passports, at standard level and not necessarily having expedited passport. Let me quickly then talk about the visas. And like I said earlier, my colleague will also fill in when it comes to, with the specifics on the issue of passports and visas. It is the same with visas, of course. Once you want to travel to Ghana, it means that you are not holding a Ghanaian passport. Then it means that you haven't passport of a different country. If you're holding passport of a different country, then the assumption is that you are not Ghanaian. And so, first of all, the passport you are holding should be valid. And there is something basic, which is a regulation from the International Civil Aviation Authority, ICAO, which is that passports which has a validity of less than 6 months cannot be used to travel. And so as much as possible, when you want to apply for visa, ensure that the passport you are holding has a validity of more than 6 months. Otherwise, we may not be able to help you. Once that is established, you go onto our system, our website, GhanaHighCommissionUK.com, and go through the process to apply for the visa. We have different types, but basically what our people apply for either the tourist visa, that is for visitors, or business visas. And so depending on what you are going to Ghana to do, you choose the category that fits you. And timelines, yes. Since COVID, we have in a way restricted some of our operations, in the sense that to save people who work at the office and then also applicants who do come in, since July last year, visa applications have basically been about through post. That is, you go on the system, you apply, you make the appropriate payments, and then you post the forms and the passport to us, and then we process and send to you. Because of that, 72-hour visas and then 24-hour visa services were suspended. But effective July this year, we've reintroduced the 24-hour service, where we are able to attend to a maximum of, say, 30 people in a day, people who would want to travel to Ghana under emergency situations and so require Ghanaian visas so urgently. So they come in with the application. 24 hours means that within 24 hours, it doesn't mean same day service. And so within 24 hours, once you come, we are able to provide service. I would want to pause here and then ask my colleague, Mrs. Donko, to also come in. And there are areas that I have left in. I think she could fill in. So thank you. And then I think I should be back when it gets to the point of question and answers.
Thank you, Minister Owusu-Ansah. We will take the following from
Mr. Pearson. I'm a minister councillor. I'm not a minister yet.
This is Mr. Minister Councillor. Yes, Minister Councillor. Yes, thank you, Minister Councillor Welfare, Consular and Welfare. Thank you. And we have Josephine Donko, Minister Councillor, Immigration and Passports. Please take over.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kwesi. And thank you, Mr. Owusu-Ansah. And good evening to everyone. And thanks very much for honoring our invitation. We know over here everyone is busy, but you've made time for us. We are very grateful. I think Mr. Owusu-Ansah has practically talked about everything regarding passports and visas, but there are a few things that I will chip in. I think on the issue of the lost or stolen passports, yes, I think you heard him say that you need to provide a proof of identity. But there are instances where we have some of our compatriots who came here through, so many other channels, maybe, let me use the word illegally, and do not have any form of identification. We are not going to deny you a passport just because you do not have any form of identification. So we try to bend the rules a bit, and we ask people to look for two Ghanaians with valid Ghanaian passports who can attest to the fact that you are Ghanaian. And what it means is that they would have to put it into writing. They would have to write and say that they know Mr. So and so or Mrs. So and so to be a Ghanaian, and attach their own photocopies of their own passports with their address and telephone numbers. So in this way, we'll be able to assist anybody with who do not have any proof of identity. And also, people also come in thinking we are going to use the standard, you are required to attach one standard passport picture to your application. Sometimes they come in and think we are going to use that. So they come in unprepared because they have dressed up very well for their nice passport photograph, only to turn up for us to tell them that, no, we are going to take a new one. And there are instances where, especially, women will come and we are not wearing our wigs, or we have some headbands that we are not prepared for it. So we should take note that the passport picture that you provide is just for us, for our records, but the ones that we take there are the ones that we use for the processing of the passports. So please bear in mind. And also, I'll talk about the validity of the applications, the passport applications on our systems. Let's say that today is I think the 6th of August. When you do an application today and you submit it to the High Commission today, it is only valid on our system for a period of 6 months. So you have up to September, October, November, December, January, February to submit your application. Any time after February, the system automatically deletes your application. So it means you have to start all over again. Everything, including the payment, you have to do a new payment because you have lost the old application. It's gone completely. There's no way we'll be able to even trace it on our system. So please bear in mind. And we have instances where people also travel to Ghana and then they go to the passport office in Ghana and apply for passports. and because of the time, sometimes they have to leave the passports behind. And when the passports are ready, they ask their relatives to go and collect the passports. I'm talking about proxy passports. You see, by law, passports issued in any other country, apart from, how do you call it? Passports issued in any other country and posted illegally is not recognized. So in this case, some of them take it to DHL, and then they advise that you have to post it to the High Commission, which is not right. By law, you are not supposed to do that. And then DHL will mail the passports to us, and then people will show up and say that I am coming for my passport. DHL's mailed your passport, my passport to your office. But we are not supposed to do that. It's not right. So please, let's desist from that and tell people that it's not right for you to go to Ghana, in as much as it's a Ghanaian passport, yes, issued by Ghanaian government in Ghana. You're not supposed to post it or even give it to somebody traveling here to be given to you. Because it will not be recognized here. Let's bear in mind on that one. And I think basically he has covered everything. Of course, the processing time also is, of course, on our website, we say 2 to 3 weeks for passports. But if any of you have recently applied for a passport, you know that that's not the case. Because I think as I speak to you, as of yesterday, I know about yesterday, we had even posted applications. No, today we posted applications that are supposed to be released on the 18th of August. So we are far ahead. We've gone far ahead. So this means that hopefully by Monday, those that were supposed to receive their application, their passports on the 18th would receive their passports. So, but we just, because of the technical difficulties that sometimes we get, as Mr. Usuansa explained, we have put it on our website that the processing time is 2 to 3 weeks. But certainly it's usually, I mean, about, I would say 85% of the time, it's about, let's say maybe under two weeks, I mean, or let's say 1 week, you get your passport. I mean, I'm talking about it from the day you come to the High Commission for enrollment to when you receive your passport. And we had a lot of complaints about people getting appointments, not getting appointments. So we have increased the number. Even before how do you call it, the COVID-19 outbreak, we were doing, the maximum number we were doing in a day was 80 applications for passports per day. And then because of all the COVID protocols, restrictions here and there, we had to reduce the number. When we reopened, we had to reduce the number to 30, gradually 40, 60, and then we went to 80. And then when we got a lot of complaints that people are not getting appointments, we had to really bend our backs to increase it to 100. So usually on a daily basis, we receive about 100 to 105 applications at the mission. That's for passports, only passports. And as I speak to you, if you want to apply now, as I sit here, I think the next available day should be somewhere around the 15th of September, which is not bad at all, because with some of our missions, I think you have family in other countries, you can ask them. They have appointments February, March of next year. So if we are in London, if you can apply for a passport today and get 15th or even 17th of September now, I think we are not doing badly at all. So yeah, that's about I think the application time also. And I would also speak about an issue that is really becoming a problem lately. And I mean, I would term it as challenges that we are having. Many a times are people, I don't know, for some reason would want to go through middlemen or some self-styled travel agents because they think, as for the Ghana High Commission, if you don't know anybody and you come there or you apply for a service, they are not even going to look at you. But I don't think that is the case. We rather complicate matters when we have to go through these people. And on a daily basis, there's not a single day that goes by that I don't have somebody coming to my office to complain that they had to give their application to a middleman. They were charged £500, they were charged £400, and that was the end of it. Some of them, they don't even get their documents back again. They don't get the birth certificate, nothing again. And then they have to, come to us eventually for us to help them out to get their passports. So please, let's try and advise our people to desist from that, because if we encourage the middlemen, then that's where all these connections come in. And that's the reason why we are not keeping people's passports, because once your passport is printed today, if even it's the collection date is in December, once it's printed today, we make sure that we work on it. It goes through the processes and make sure that in the next few days we mail it out to you. Because if you hold on to your passport, that is when maybe you need your passport earlier for something, and you have to go and see somebody, to come and see somebody somewhere at the High Commission, or some middleman somewhere to speak to somebody at the High Commission, and then money starts changing hands and it becomes a whole lot of mess. So please, everything is straightforward. If you go on our website, it's not because I'm at the High Commission, that's why I'm saying this, but of course we have all applied for visas from other countries, and we know how sometimes some countries you have to do like 14 pages before you can complete a visa application. Some of them you have to use like 2-3 days to do it, but with ours, it's a very straightforward application process, both passports and visas. It's not something that you have to be so knowledgeable in computers or something before you'll be able to do. So please, let's try and desist from using these middlemen, because they will take your money. And for all you care, they just know somebody. For instance, they may know me, and then the person will come to me, or I have a friend or an uncle who needs a passport, and I'll say, okay, that's fine, because the person knows me, of course. And then the person will come and take your money without paying any money to anybody at the High Commission. You see, so if you pay money to them, they will just take your money at the end of the day, and sometimes they will even run away and you don't hear from them again. They change their telephone numbers and you don't hear from them again. So please, let's try and do things ourselves without going through any middlemen. And secondly, another issue is having people just show up at the High Commission with no appointment. And especially in times like these, where we are trying to protect everybody, the workforce, and we have specific numbers that have to be at the High Commission at a particular time, and then you just come to the High Commission and expect us to give you a service. Sometimes it's just too difficult, because already we have gone above the number, and then we would have to take you in, and it's not good for anybody at all. It's not good for anybody at all. And when they come and then the security man doesn't want them to come inside, it also becomes another issue. And sometimes you'll be in the office and you hear people screaming here and there. And I think it's not good enough for us to do that. If you want any inquiries, I think we have the chat. We used to have the telephone service, and we had a lot of complaints where people would come and said, I spoke to somebody, the person said, I said, she said. So we introduced the chat just to make sure that we have everything documented, so nobody can just come in. And even the chat, we have people just photoshopping the chat. They will come and then they will take certain things out. And then when we go and check our records, by the time, sometimes when you tell them, okay, give it to me, I'm going to reconcile with what we have upstairs. By the time you come, the person is gone. It means that there's something funny somewhere. I think on the whole, things are running smoothly now. Of course, I won't blow my own drums, or we won't blow. We won't do our own drumming. We would wait for you to do the drumming for us to dance. And if there are any other issues also, I think when it gets to the Q&A, we will address it. But I think basically that's it. All other information, even regarding the registration of Ghanaian citizens, everything is available on the website. And also with the dual nationality, I think there's a video that we sent around trying to educate people that there's a need for every Ghanaian to get a Ghanaian passport, whether you are British Ghanaian or American Ghanaian. I mean, you need to get a Ghanaian passport because you don't need the dual nationality card again. So it's better for you to get a passport because the interesting thing is that we are not directly responsible for the dual nationality card. These things you have to go through other missions and other ministries to do it, and sometimes it takes forever for it to come back to us, and it's creating a lot of problems. So if you can just go ahead and apply for a Ghanaian passport, why not? There's no need to go and pay a huge amount of money to do the dual nationality card, when you can pay £100 for a Ghanaian passport. So I think for now I would stop here and wait for the Q&A, because I think whatever information we have given to you is available on our website. So if you have any other questions or something that is bothering you that is not on our website, something that you want us to address, I think we can do that when the Q&A starts. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor, Minister Councillor for Migration, Mrs. Donkor. Thank you. We have listened to the two of you. Some of us are conversant with some of the processes. Today is an opportunity for the community to obviously let you know their views. I do ask that you are circumspect and sincere with your questions, not make fabricated story because somebody told you. I do also ask that you raise your hand if you want to ask a question, and where possible, if you can rename yourself, because people with iPhone 7, 8, and all kind of names will not be called, if I may have to say so. It is important that our record captures who asked the question for our own record, not for any other thing. I'm glad you mentioned the dual citizenship issue, Mrs. Donkor. I wish you can highlight a little bit more. Am I with the understanding that a Ghanaian, born Ghanaian or born in UK with a Ghanaian passport has no longer any need? Because I think less than a week ago, there's been a statement going around on social media from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, suggesting that if you have a Ghanaian passport, effectively, there's no need for you to carry the green dual nationality card. Can you please, any of you, actually clarify some of this for us? Because people are under the impression that if I have that green card, I don't need to carry the Ghana passport. Or if I have the Ghana passport, I don't need to carry the other one. And there are people who still have Ghana passport and still want to carry the green one. So is there any way I know you said it's not within your jurisdiction as such, but do you have any information to share? No. Secondly, before I go to the Q&A, on the issue of COVID and restrictions within certain neighboring countries around UK, do you have any knowledge of the requirement to travel via those nations, France, Belgium, and what's it called? Amsterdam, where KLM, Air France, and Brussels Air normally route, including Lisbon, Portugal, Air Portugal. If you have anything that you think might guide our people, because there are confusion within some circles. You don't have to if you don't have it, but if you do, it'll be helpful. Before I open the line for questions, please. Thank you.
Okay. On the issue of dual nationality or dual citizenship, I think what you saw circulating, yes, that is true. It's a document that emanated from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and that follows a Supreme Court ruling in 2012. I think that for a long time it's been an issue because of the law that we had at the time, that before you need to be Ghanaian first before you acquire the nationality of another country. And so it was a bit difficult in terms of interpretation. And so you realize that for a long time, applications were not processed for dual nationality cards, in the sense that the then Interior Ministry, who happened to be the Deputy Attorney General, the immediate past special prosecutor, Martin Hamidou, when he was the Deputy Attorney General, yes, the law was passed that before you acquire the nationality of another country, you must be, first of all, you must be Ghanaian. And so if it required that you had to renounce your Ghanaian citizenship before you acquire that of the other country, then it becomes difficult for you to come back to obtain your Ghanaian nationality. So it was a bit difficult in terms of interpretation. And then also it had added that it was a criminal offense to hold two passports, to say that you're traveling to Ghana and you have, let's say in the case of UK, you have the British passport and then you had the Ghanaian passport. It was seen as a criminal offense to have the two passports at the same time. However, after the 2004 court ruling by Professor Asare, who took the matter to court, the law had been reviewed. And so you do not necessarily need to even attempt to process the dual nationality card. Just process your Ghanaian passport together with your British passport. So as you traveling to Ghana, you travel with your Ghanaian passport. When you are returning, you use your British passport. If you have the card already, yes, you can travel on the card, but then it's also something that we will not encourage people to do. It is always better if you have the Ghanaian passport on you. So you travel, and like my colleague rightly mentioned, the processes involved, because we will have to obtain, give you the form for you to complete. It is forwarded to the Legal and Consular Bureau of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which is then submitted to the Interior Ministry and it's supposed to be signed by the minister and no one else. And so it makes it difficult. That is why with this ruling, we will always encourage people to always endeavor to obtain the Ghanaian passport. So I think that henceforth, we are going to observe a surge in the number of Ghanaian passports, because people are now beginning to understand that, okay, after all, it is not a crime to have the two passports. So you travel on your Ghana passport when you go into Ghana, and then you return on your British passport. Having said that, I think there are a couple of questions that we have on the chat, and if Mr. Kwesi, if you don't mind, maybe quickly, if we could go through some of the questions.
If you don't mind, I'd rather you go through the updates with the dual citizenship and the travel information that I did, and then we'll mix those who have raised their hands and those who have a chat room questions when we get to Q&A.
Okay. In the case of traveling to the other countries, of course, I would say that is basically not within our purview in terms of what you need to do to travel to, say, travel through the Netherlands or travel through Brussels on your way to Ghana. I think after Brexit, what has come to stay is that when you are traveling on KLM or Air Brussels and you are using a Ghanaian passport, you will need to obtain a transit visa to go through those countries.
Yes.
And so that is what is happening now. And on our side, there is nothing we are able to do about that. So I think it is for prospective travelers to, look for more information on areas where they are traveling through, so that, they don't get stranded.
Right.
That is all that I can say as regards that.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Swanson. I think that's quite clear. I will open the lines. Like I said earlier, please, I'm going to merge the two questions that has come in before, those who have their hands up, and some chat room questions. So we have the next hour to go through. I will also want to, before I do that, acknowledge the support that we have received from the partner groups, the Ghana Nurses Association UK, the Western Region Nurses Association UK, and the Nightingale Nurses Association UK, of course, Ghana Union leading this initiative, and obviously our supporting group again, Express Pay, for bringing us all the support for us to deliver the sessions in the past 6 months and over. So I'm going to give you 2 seconds or 2 or 5 seconds, take a quick break, have a drink, and then we will return to the Q&A sessions fresh and well ready to go along. I can see a lot of hands up, and I'm sure we'll have enough time to deliver all the answers for them. So we will take a few seconds break for everybody to refresh themselves, grab a drink, and then we will come back.
Enjoy some fabulous rewards. Get a cool £10 reward when you receive £100 or more from the UK. Tell your friends and family in the UK to send money to your mobile money wallet or bank account using Express Pay and get an extra £10. Terms and conditions apply.
Thank you very much, and welcome back to tonight's edition of the Community Awareness Forum. This is the 10th edition, and today is about passport, visas, dual nationality, and our experts have explained a lot to us. I will not have an opinion, and I'll give the opinion to all those who have raised their hands and those who have sent chat questions and questions in advance for us to go through. So I will be dealing with these 3 areas. First, no particular order. Can I call on Antar? Antar, the first person with your hand up on the screen. Antar, are you still with us? We got Roddy Gray. It's called Roddy Gray. My apologies for I haven't mentioned your name properly, but it's Roddy Gray.
That's fine. Anita. Good evening, and thank you for a wonderful presentation of both our presenters. 2 very short questions. I might have missed it, but did the presenters say that we still require a police report for misplaced passports? Because I know that when we go to the police for a police report, so far as it's a misplaced passport and not a particularly lost passport, they send us back to the embassy. They would not give us such a document. And the second question is, in 2014, when my family and I renewed our Ghanaian passports, when the passports came back, we'd been given only 3 years instead of the 10 years we expected. And we had paid the full. Okay, we'd been given only 3 years in each of the passports when we had hoped for a 10-year passport. So by 2017, our passports had expired. If we were to renew the passport now, is there any way of, I'll use the word compensating, not financially, but how do we get back years that we were expecting that we didn't get in the first passports? So those are the 2 questions. Thank you.
Okay. Please, any of you 2 can take that answer questions, please, if you don't mind.
I would take the last one. I didn't hear the year that she said they renewed the passport. I heard 2004.
14, I think.
2014, they renewed their passport. In fact, I really will not be able to tell you why you were given 3 years then. But what I know is that at a point when they were trying to introduce the biometric passports in all our missions, we were advised not to issue passports with the normal 5 or 10 year validity, knowing that the biometric passports were going to be rolled out soon. And so at the time where I was, we used to advise people that we had the option of extension. So we had you have to bring your passport to the mission, and we give you an extension stamp for you to be able to use the passport until the biometric was finally rolled out. I don't know what exactly happened around here that they were given 3-year how do you call it, 3-year validity periods. But unfortunately, I don't think we will be able to offer any compensation for her and her family. She would have to do a completely new application again. Of course, because 2014 is how many years ago? Seven or so years ago. So I'm sorry, Anita, you'd have to do a completely new application for yourself and your family. Then also on the issue of the police report, I think maybe when you came in, Mr. Usuansa had finished talking, he mentioned that, of course, now we don't really take the police report, but he gave the other requirements that you needed to bring a proof of citizenship, a proof of identity, sorry, and then your birth certificate, and then an affidavit instead of a police report. So you don't need to bring a police report to us now. I don't know if your questions have been answered.
I think that's good enough. You don't need a police, whatever answer you've given. I think 2014 will be too difficult to track, and I'm sure Anita will take kindly to that. If I were to go to one of the chat room questions, please, so that we can look at the chat areas as well. Somebody saying, could you clarify or give information about the Ghana ID card? I have been informed that this form of identification can be used with a UK passport when traveling from Ghana, UK to Ghana, and acts like a visa. Without even asking you, I don't think we have got to the Ghana ID card issue yet, but I will leave the expert to say that, if you have any information about that. Any of you, please. You can unmute yourself. We got to a point where you have to respond quickly. So,
sorry, Mr. Question, I think you have answered that. Of course, that's not an issue for discussion here. But then today, somebody also asked about the Ghana card. I think that per the law, the National Identification Authority is supposed to register all Ghanaians outside of Ghana 6 months after the exercise is completed in Ghana. And so we are waiting. I mean, as I mentioned, so far as we know, I mean, NIA, yes, will do well to register Ghanaians outside of Ghana. But then as to when that exercise is going to take place, we have no such information. And also on as to whether you can use that document in lieu of a passport or visa, that information too, I don't think any of us here can confirm.
Thank you. I have an advanced question that came in and said, are there any plans to beef up customer service lines within the High Commission? There is hardly any response when one tries to contact them via telephone. I know Josephine said that you realized that there were a lot of accusatory comments, or we called and somebody said this and that, so you've introduced a chat. If you can explain a little bit more, because it seems that some people have the impression that they are still calling. I don't know what number they are calling, but is there any line in existence at all? Or how does people call you to talk to you if is there any issues? Or it's just the chat completely from now?
When you call that telephone number for customer service, there's a voice message that we don't do the telephone service again. So it gives you the link for you to start a chat with somebody. So the number automatically gives you, it doesn't redirect you, of course. It tells you that go on this specific link and chat with somebody. So I don't know which number they are talking about anyway, but if there's a specific number, there's a number that I know that's for customer service. When you call, it tells you that you have to chat with somebody on this particular link. So there's nobody on the phone to speak to you.
Thank you. And also, can you confirm, you said it earlier, that for 24-hour visa service, you can now walk into Highgate with your document and you will be able to get that processed without having to, how does that work? Because we have a lot of people that have the impression that that service is not there. And I am aware that you have just introduced that service last month. So if you can explain it a bit more so that those who keep panicking and knocking on favorite people to intervene will hopefully get this clarity from today.
Okay. No, you cannot just walk in. Right. You have to get an appointment when you are applying for the visa online. Just like when you are doing the passport application, you need to get an appointment because we have a slot for 30 people in a day. We have only 30 slots in a day. So you have to get an appointment in advance. And then when you submit it, then we will give you that 24-hour service upon, that is on the day that you submit your application. The 24-hour service starts from the date that you submit our application. We will receive your application. Okay. But you cannot just walk into the High Commission. You need to come in with an appointment before you submit your application.
Thank you. Can I call Juliana, please? Juliana Ansah.
Hi there, good evening.
Oh, it's Julian.
Julian Ansah, yes.
My apologies.
That's okay. So my question is, and I've seen that someone else posted this in the chat, is my wife is a British Sierra Leonean married to me who is a British Ghanaian. So I and my children have got our Ghanaian passports. Back in early 2020, when we were in Ghana, we also started the process to apply for my wife to have a Ghanaian passport. When we were at the passport office, she was asked to do a naturalization by doing the affidavits regarding her maiden name. So we were informed that this was the process. We would get a I can't remember the term now, but where it's put in the Gazette, and that once they've got it's been in the Gazette, they would complete the process of her Ghanaian passport. Fast forward, the process was taking long. We were told that it was being processed, but we were then now informed when I was recently in Ghana that she would have to nationalize by living in Ghana for at least 5 years. Now, the question I also had to them was that the Ghanaian government had been announcing on the year of return that they wanted anyone in the diaspora to be able to get Ghanaian passports. So can I have clarification on if this is correct around the nationalization? Because it also has an impact on things like, you know, if we're wanting to invest in land or properties.
So can you go straight to the question? The question is, can you get I want you to frame that question straight away so that we can answer it.
Okay. So the question is, because I am a Ghanaian.
We understand the background. What is the question, please, sir?
So the question is, is there a process where my wife can also obtain a Ghanaian passport?
Right. Okay. Is there a way that a British Ghanaian with children who already have Ghanaian passport, is there a process for his wife to have a Ghanaian passport? Please, any of you can take the question, please.
Okay. I think I had mentioned earlier my submission that To apply for a Ghanaian passport, you've got to be Ghanaian, either by birth, registration, or naturalization. And so in the case of, the case we are dealing with now, the only way out will be through naturalization, which of course cannot be initiated from here in London. The mission doesn't initiate the naturalization process. And so as they had been informed in Ghana, that will have to be done in Ghana alone.
Thank you very much. Somebody also put it in the chat. Well done to the Ghana High Commission UK customer service team on emails. Very quick responses all the time. Keep it up and thank you. So it's not all gloomy and gloomy. Thank you very much for your hard work. I'll go to the next person. H.A. Seydu, please. H.A. Seydu.
Yeah, hello. Good evening to you all.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, please, I have a question. My question goes straight to Mrs. Donko, if she can answer this. She talked about dual citizenship, that if you have a British citizenship, a British passport, you can just, you need to apply for a Ghanaian passport. And my question is that if you were once a Ghanaian, and then in your Ghanaian passport, you were having two names, and then when you acquire a British citizen or other citizenship, you had a third name, which is your first name and then two surnames. By so, how are you going to apply for this Ghana passport? Because in your European passport is bearing three names, and your previous Ghanaian passport you were having two names. So in this case, how can you apply the Ghanaian passport here directly?
Mr. Seydu, this is not a difficult one. Once you have your old Ghanaian passport and then the British passport, you have to do an affidavit to indicate that it's not a change of name. It's not a change of name. You said if you can be a bit clear on that, it's not a change of name. You have just added one name. Is that the case?
So from what I understand,
yes. I think he said yes. So you just have to do an affidavit to indicate that you have, for instance, if your name was Kwame Osei Seydu, your name was Kwame Seydu, and then now it's Kwame Osei Seydu, you have to do an affidavit to say that you are now known as Kwame Osei Seydu. So you have added Osei to your name and attach it to your old Ghanaian passport, and then you can also bring a photocopy of your British passport and attach it, and then submit your application. Okay, thank you very much, Josephine. There's a chat room statement I want to read. I think it's from the same person that asked it. How can it be fair that if one is married to a Ghanaian and living abroad, that the non-Ghanaian spouse must leave the family to go and live in Ghana for 5 years? Have Ghanaians are married to foreigners not benefited from acquiring other nationalities? I'm not going to put my panelists through that. All I can say is that UK has its rules, and the UK will go by its rules, and Ghana has its rules. I think if you need any specific clarity, we can talk offline and hopefully look at your specific circumstances. But UK rules will be UK rules, and Ghana rules will apply. If I go to the next person, please. R. Amwa.
All right, good evening. Yes, that's me.
Yes,
that's me. Good evening, all. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. My first question was asked in terms of how non-Ghanaian spouses could get Ghanaian citizenship or Ghanaian passport. I think that's been answered. The second question that I really wanted to ask is it possible if I have an expired Ghana passport, but I want to travel to Ghana. Is it possible to travel on the expired Ghanaian passport as a Ghanaian citizen going to Ghana?
Okay, please, any of you can take.
No, certainly no. I mean, once the passport is expired, it's expired. You can't travel on an expired passport.
Thank you. I will read one of the questions I received in advance. There is only one option for standard passport applications on your website. Do you have any plans to introduce a premium service anytime soon or in the foreseeable future? Do you have any plans?
I think Mr. Osuansa said in his presentation that we are looking at it and then see how best we'll be able to do it. Because currently all we have to do is send the applications to Accra before we are given the go ahead here to print. We are just like an application center, so we cannot do much now. So, but we are looking at it. And I think pretty soon, very soon, we will be rolling that out here in London as well. I cannot promise exactly when, but I think not. I mean, in the foreseeable future. Let me put it that way.
That's fine.
And I am also Mr. Seidu's question. Let me correct this. I said affidavit. I think is a deed poll rather. Sorry, we need a deed poll. Sorry. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. So I'm going to, because we've got a lot of people's hands up, I'm going to go randomly, because if I go by the list, probably some of you will never. So I will catch you as I go random. Once you've asked your question, please put your hands down kindly. Eve de Graft, please. Eve de Graft. Do we still have Eve with us? Eve de Graft?
Yes, you do. Yeah, you do. Can you hear me now? Because I tried to unmute. Yeah, thank you very much. It's a simple question, really. I renewed my passport in 2018, my Ghanaian passport in 2018, when you were rolling out the biometric. And we were given 5 years, having paid £150. Soon after that, we were told that, I think due to some pressure, the 5 years went up to 10 years. So I'm just inquiring, obviously now my passport expires in 2023, that is 5 years. So will we be taken into consideration, or would we have to, again, obviously renew our passport after the 5 years?
Thank you, Eve.
Madam de Graaf, thank you for your question, but that was the rule then. 2018 it was 5 years, now it's 10 years. So when you are renewing your passports, you will not be given any special considerations. You'd have to apply just like a normal person would, and then apply for the new 10-year passport. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Can I call Kofi Boahini, please? Kofi Boahini. If Kofi is still with us, please. Kofi, are you still with us? If not, I'll come back to you. Can I go to Winifred? Winifred, please. I've got some.
No, it's me. I'm here.
Okay. Please take over.
Yeah, this is Emmanuel Kofi Adebo. I joined you guys from New York City, and I want to find out if whatever is going on in the UK is applicable in the United States, because we don't get this kind of forum to ask questions.
Okay, thank you. I think that's a comment, some praise for us that the US are not doing anything. We are doing something here, so keep joining us. But I have to say this is a community initiative. So we work in partnership with the Ghana High Commission and other partners to deliver this. So your best option, I would say, is to contact your mission within the state you're in, and I'm sure they can guide you to any community group that hopefully can champion some of this. But I'm pleased that somebody from US is saying this to us. Thank you. And we'll continue doing this, and hopefully you will keep being our audience. Thank you very much. Winifred, please.
Yeah, hello, good evening, everyone. And Mr. Kwesi, thank you for doing this. I think it's great. And Mrs. Donko, Josephine Donko, you said you were waiting for us to play the drum so you dance, and that is exactly what I'm going to do, because we applied for a visa about a week ago, and it was a standard application which was meant to be for 15 days, but it came in, I would say, record time to me, because in 5 days we had all our 5 visas approved and returned safely to us with all the documents. So thank you for the great job you guys are doing. But there was one particular observation we made when we were doing the application online. We wanted to put this application in as a family, but the system was allowing you to do that only if each individual was going to pay £140. So we were just wondering, how does that work? Because obviously you expect like a collective application to rather come at a lower price than each paying, because eventually we paid £60 per person for each of us. But if we were doing it as a family, we were going to pay £140 per person. Yeah, so I think that is something that probably needs to be looked into. But otherwise, we've been highly impressed with the service we've got. And I would say that it's worth to say this, so it encourages us that, look, things are really indeed getting better for us as a country. And Mr. Kwesi, thanks for your help in guiding us in the right direction with regards to this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think our team need this because we are all human. They are here to work with us, not against us. And sometimes, as much as you want to listen to all the hearsay, there are elements of good work that has gone on over the many years. And we can only add to it. So thank you for letting us know how pleased. I have a chat question direct to me. It says, how can a British citizen of Ghanaian parent acquire a dual nationality if the citizen's parent if the citizen parent has passed away? This citizen has schooled in Ghana from class 1 to 6 form in Ghana in the 80s, but lives in the UK since. So late in the 80s, somebody schooled in Ghana, the parents have passed away, and they have since lived in the UK. How can such a person go about getting dual citizenship? First of all, like our experts said, there are no dual citizenship requirements for you, so to speak. You just need to get a Ghana passport. And if I don't want to answer the question for them, I'm sure that person, having lived in Ghana, will have some family roots in Ghana to approach to help you in that situation. But that is only my own common conventional wisdom I'm applying. So please, the expert, if you have something to add to that.
Yes, like you rightly said, definitely he has some roots in Ghana. And okay, if your parents are deceased, they have passed away, what we ask for is, do you have a death certificate? Because on the death certificate, it was was it issued in Ghana? So we will know that indeed, even though they have passed away, they are Ghanaians. So we can also use a death certificate. In cases where they don't have the death certificates, like I rightly said, you can get 2 family members or 2 Ghanaians to say that, yes, we know Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so, she's a Ghanaian, put it to us in writing with their photocopies of they should have valid Ghanaian passports, not expired Ghanaian passport, valid Ghanaian passports, to say that, yes, they know you and you are Ghanaian. So I don't think it is that difficult for him to apply for a Ghanaian passport.
Thank you. Can I go to Adam Mawina, please? Adam.
Good evening. Thank you so much for the good work. I just want to ask 2 questions, really. The first one is in 2014, I went to Ghana with my son. He had a British passport and then Ghanaian passport. So we went with the Ghanaian passport, and coming back, we used the British passport. But I was forced at the airport to pay about, I think, $100 at the time for not having a valid passport in in his, valid visa in his passport, the British passport. And I don't know at that time whether that was the law or not. Second question is, now, are you saying that it's legal to have Ghanaian and British passport and travel with Ghanaian passport to Ghana and come back with a British passport without a visa in? I don't know whether I missed that bit. Thank you.
Thank you. Please take over.
I think we had mentioned earlier, that yes, there is nothing wrong, or it is not illegal to travel to Ghana with your Ghanaian passport and then return with a British passport. As regards what happened at the airport in 2014, it's quite unfortunate things had to go that way. I think there were still controversies regarding the interpretation of the law at the time. So I want to believe that was why the immigration officers did that. But I don't think you should have that problem again if you should travel to Ghana now.
Thank you very much. Can I call Comfort Miracle, please? Comfort Miracle.
Yes, please. I'm here. Thank you. Oh, great presentation. Well done, all of you. My first question is there any chance that there will be another language that people can communicate? Because I remember some time ago, I visited the embassy and there was this lady panicking, looking for someone to intervene because no one was speaking her language. Inti mamumoni ejuma, but se mube to me, amayen kasebi anka obi be to me akabia, ana se obi okaya kasabe to me, aboy anka yeni beji.
Right. I think Comfort, we've lost you, but I think she's made her point. And I don't think there's much to add to it. Can I ask one of the questions that has come through to me? Is it mandatory now to include an invitation letter when applying for a visa? What if you are going there as a tourist and can prove your accommodation by way of a hotel booking? So we have some people who have, yes, rightly so, that they are asked to show invitation of, and I will imagine this is for those carrying foreign passports.
Yes, if you have a hotel booking, you can also attach your hotel booking to the application. And sometimes we even ask that where you have to put 2 references in Ghana, you have to write either the hotel manager's name or somebody's name there from the hotel. So you don't necessarily have to come to us with an invitation letter. Once you have your hotel booking to show that I have a hotel booking in Ghana, this is where I'm going to stay. Because it's not every time that somebody travels to Ghana and the person is being invited by somebody in Ghana. People go to Ghana for touristic purposes and other how do you call it, business as well. So it's not all the time that you need to come with invitation letter. You can come with your hotel booking as well.
Thank you very much. Can I call David Oshianuma, please? David Oshianuma.
Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for the great work that you're doing, and thank you very much to the panel members. My question is a very simple one. The panel have spoken about us being able to travel to Ghana with our British passports and our Ghanaian passports. And indeed, in the month of July, I traveled 3 times to Ghana. I was a little troubled that each time I flew into Accra, as a Ghanaian citizen, I had to fill in one of those little green forms. And when I was flying out, I had to fill in one of those little green forms. So in the month of July alone, I filled in 6 of those forms. Each time I flew into the UK, I didn't have to fill in any form. Are the panelists able to explain why it is that Ghanaian citizens have to fill in those forms? I can understand why non-Ghanaian citizens have to fill them in, but why do Ghanaian citizens have to fill them? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I think that is a reference to the immigration embarkment and disembarkment form that are displayed. Before we were given on board just before we land, but I think now they wait for you to arrive or something like that. So why should a Ghanaian with a Ghanaian passport arriving in his or her own country having to fill those forms, when on the reverse we don't do that when we are coming here? And I know each country is different, so we are. Please, the panelists, just unmute yourself if you can, so that you can just speak.
There's a question, yes, Mr. Inamwa. Thank you for your question. The issue is that yes, it's a regulation by the Ghana Immigration Service. Unfortunately, even though we do not, neither of us work with the Ghana Immigration Service, I think it is perhaps part of their regulations. And so the only thing we can do at this stage is to pass on the concern being expressed to the Ghana Immigration Service, if something could be done about it. Because I want to believe that they must have a good reason for doing that. And so it may be a bit, we all go through that, even with the diplomatic passports, whatever passport you hold, and you still need to go through that. And so perhaps these concerns could be passed on to the Ghana Immigration Service for them to look at it. But until that regulation is reviewed, I think we just need to respect it.
Thank you. Can I call Joseph Kwanzaa, please? Joseph Kwanzaa. Do we have anyone called Joseph Kwanzaa, please? Joseph Kwanzaa, I've seen you telling me that, Chairman, there's a safety issue, so can you call me? If you can.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Chaba, for that good work and a good presentation. Okay, my name is Joseph Kwanzaa, and I'm the president of Ghanaian Social Workers Association. We did a program ago about safety children issues in Ghana on Omega. What we have identified on the form that we fill for application is that there is no question about as to whether the person who is traveling has any sexual offenses or is registered as a pedophile. And we know very well that recently, Nigerian people, there was a Nigerian man who has been arrested for abusing a 14-year-old child. So my question is, within the form that we complete, the category that you have set, I know there's issue about terrorism and all that. Is there a possibility that you can add a section where the person who is traveling, a question will be asked as to whether they have any criminal offense in relation to abusing a child? Because I think when we did that program, we alerted the commission. I'm not sure whether it has reached you, because it's very important that we deal with that, because there are a lot of pedophiles who are going to Ghana and they are taking a loophole in that, in completing that form to get away with it. If the person is a pedophile, definitely, if that question is there, it will scare them from going there to abuse our children. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I don't know if there will be any comment on it. If Sister, Madam Josephine, if you can articulate whether there is any part of the form that actually can help track people who are not in good standing to be traveling to certain places. Because here, if you are a certain offense category, traveling becomes not a privilege anymore, I think.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kwanzaa. I think your contribution is well noted. Yes, we don't have on the form a question that asks whether a person is a pedophile, somebody who has abused a child before. But in situations where people have come up for such crimes, we have what we call a stop list on our system. Of course, you wouldn't see it. And even the staff members, it's not everybody that sees it. once we run the application through our system, or when we are doing the approvals, the issuing officer can easily detect whether the person is on the stop list or is wanted for a particular crime. But we don't have that question on the form, as you're saying. So we will look into that as well. Thank you very much.
Okay, I will ask 1 or 2 chat room questions and I'll go back to those hands up. I have paid for a visa in 2020 to go to Ghana for a funeral, but due to COVID-19, my flight was canceled. Will I get a new visa or would I have to pay again for a new one? Please, despite not being able to travel. I think that will be something that can be answered. And also, if you're a dual nationality, if you have a dual nationality card and British passport, and your Ghanaian passport has expired, can you travel with British passport and your green card? So I never made the effort to get a dual nationality card, but I don't know whether it has expiry date or not. But those who managed to get it before this new directive that we can go with 2 passports and it's fine, if their Ghana passport has expired and that green card is still valid, what is their status in terms of going in and out of Ghana? I think that's what the question implies, I guess.
Okay, I think I would address the visa issue first. Depending on when, because when the borders of Ghana, we shut the borders of Ghana, it was our responsibility as a mission to refund or how do you call it, extend visas for applicants who had already been issued with visas, because it was a directive from the government of Ghana. But I don't know that was why I wanted to know the time frame, because if it was around December where the British government said only essential travels, and then the person couldn't go, then there's not much we can do for the person, because that wasn't a directive from the government of Ghana. It means that, of course, he has to apply for a new visa, and then before he can travel to Ghana. But if it was during the time that the borders of Ghana were shut, then it is our responsibility. But then even though we have put it on our website, I think it will be expiring. We will cease the extension in September. In fact, I don't have the exact date on top of my head, but I know very much that in a few weeks' time, we will stop doing the extensions. So when you go on our website, the first message, and you open the website, the first message that pops up says that if you know that you had applied for visas within that time frame, and then you haven't extended or requested for a refund, you have to do so. Otherwise, after, I think it's 30th September or so, or you cannot request for that again. So I think that's
and there's another question. Is you've done those 2 already now? Okay. Should we go to Martha Dua, please? Martha Dua.
Hello, thank you for calling me. You just asked the question that I wanted to ask, but nobody answered it, because I have a dual citizenship card and there is no expiry date in the dual citizenship card. Can I travel with that, or do I have to do another passport, Ghanaian passport? Because you just asked that question, but no one answered it.
Thank you.
Okay, I will take that. That is the essence of the dual citizenship card, to be able to travel with it without the Ghanaian passport. And so you should be able to travel with it. But then we will encourage every Ghanaian who also holds other nationality, in this case British nationality, to do well to obtain a Ghanaian passport as well. So it means that you can travel on the dual nationality card, but then also do well to get a Ghanaian passport.
Thank you. Eddie Odoi, please. Eddie. And if I've called you already, please put your hand down if you don't have anything new. Eddie, please.
Yep. Hi, and thanks very much. I have 2 questions. Well, one a comment and a question. I was going to apply. I'm traveling to Ghana end of September. I was going to apply for a renewal of visa, but I think it said 3 to 6 weeks. So I thought, I may not, and the appointment date was the 7th of September. So I thought, well, I may not get in time. I'm not going to do it. And then I've just found out 85% of applications are processed within 2 weeks. So now I'm wondering, and I think I checked yesterday, the next appointment time was, I think, is the 15th of September.
Right.
Is it the 15th of September for express? Are you talking about express? Express application or
no? No, I'm talking about a passport.
A passport. Oh, sorry.
Yes, passport.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. My second question, so you can take them both together, is: can I apply for a dual citizenship certificate or card in the UK? Because I had a chat with someone and they said I have got to do it in Ghana.
Yes, on your first question, unfortunately, like you said, the next available date is the 15th of September. But there are situations where we have people that have emergency situations. They need to travel to funerals of their maybe parents or relatives, or they need to really be in Ghana for other urgent or emergency cases. You are asked to provide proof that indeed you have to travel to Ghana because of reason A or reason B as soon as possible. And then we go ahead and then give you, how do you call it? Fast track your application for you in order for you to get your passport to travel to Ghana. So I think you need to chat with the customer service, and if you chat with customer service and you tell them you have an emergency, they will ask you for proof. And then when you submit your proof, then they will give it to the issuing officers who do an appointment change for you. You should ensure that you have done your appointment already, so that it will be easier for us to rebook you by the time you get in touch with the customer service chat session, and then we will rebook you for an early appointment.
In addition to that, I think in such situations, if it's established, yes, that it is a case of emergency, that's when perhaps the issue of the emergency travel certificate, also kicks in the sense that, yes, the passport section could be inundated with several requests, and it becomes difficult being able to actually identify who really is in need of the passport. And anything at all could also happen in Accra, which could cause a delay. And so in such situations, you could also apply for an emergency travel certificate. But then, as we always say, it's a one-way document. Once you travel with it to Ghana, that's it. You can't use it again. And so, yes, in such situations, you can apply for the emergency travel certificate. But you need to convince us that really there is the need. It's an urgent situation.
So, Mr. Usuan, if I may ask, if you are issued a travel certificate and that takes you to Ghana and you are returning on a British passport, would that certificate still, because then the question will be, how did you enter here? Where is your visa? Can you clarify a little bit there for me?
If you have a British passport, the issue is that, there are people who have the indefinite leave to remain. Yeah. And then we have those who also have the British passport. If you have the British passport, then we will advise that you apply for a visa in the British passport to travel to Ghana. However, if it is indefinite leave to remain, then in which case, yes, you will need a visa to come back to the UK. and that visa is also supposed to be, or you need that card, which of course is supposed to be in the expired Ghanaian passport. Then once you are in Ghana, you could also make the attempt to obtain the Ghanaian passport.
Thank you. My American friend who was saying that some of these forums are not done. So he sent me a message saying, I didn't get any of my question answered. Is the process to acquire Ghana passport as a Ghanaian American citizen, is it the same as applicable in the USA? So whatever process we are following here, could you please highlight if your counterparts in USA are also on the same wavelength, or is there any variations? I think that's what he's trying to find out. And he lives in New York, he said.
Except that, yes, there are instances where there could be some, a little bit of variation here and there. For instance, we are a bit flexible when it comes to the issue of police reports because of the difficulty we know people can go through. We don't know what the situation is, but I'm sure whatever it is, they are always able to accommodate our people. And so I want to believe that the basic requirements are the same.
Okay, thank you. Sally Bafo, please, Sally. Is Sally still with us, please?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay, good evening. Yeah, thank you very much for this forum. I would suggest if we could have it maybe twice a year to give us updates like this, it'll be great.
But twice a year is too long. I'm even going to suggest once every 3 months. So thank you for leading.
I was thinking that, but I thought I'm a bit ambitious. Yeah. And I was wondering, Mrs. Tonko mentioned about when you are applying for Ghana passport, those in Ghana have to have a valid passport. And I was wondering that not a lot of our elders do have passports. So are you ready to accept other forms of ID like the voter's ID or the Ghana card and so on? I know that I read something about the Ghana card very soon will be a bona fide kind of ID. So I just wanted to know, what the what your thoughts are on that, please.
Yes, I'm very sorry about that. I should have mentioned it when I was talking earlier on. Yes, we do accept. In fact, most people even present the voter's ID card. We accept the voter's ID card because it's not every Ghanaian that has a Ghanaian passport. So, and because we don't have, and because not every Ghanaian also has the Ghana card, we accept the voter ID card as a form of identification also. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can I call on Judith, please? Judith. If Judith is still with us, Judith.
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening, and thank you for this great job you are doing. I had 2 questions, but one has been answered. I don't know if you talked about it earlier. I have a son who is British, and we, the parents, are Ghanaians, and we want to get a Ghanaian passport for him. How do we go about it?
Right. Panelists, a son with both parents British. So I'm not sure.
Both parents are British, not British Ghanaian.
Ghanaian British.
Ghanaian British.
Yeah.
Okay. So certainly, I think on the Ghanaian side, they should have some family members that would help them, that would support the application for the child. If that is in their case, they do not have any Ghanaian identification, the parents. They can get other Ghanaian family members to support the application, because I said earlier that you can get 2 Ghanaians with Ghanaian identification, as in Ghanaian passport or voter ID card, to say that indeed I know Mr. or Miss or Master so and so. The parents are Ghanaian. I can confirm that the parents are Ghanaian, and that they should be issued with Ghanaian passports, and then they attach photocopies of their Ghanaian identification, whether it's voter's ID card or Ghanaian passports to the application. And of course, there are other requirements, the birth certificates, and then.
Thank you. Can I call Sam? Sam, please, Sam.
Thank you very much for this forum. My question is, my daughter who was born in the UK applied for her first Ghanaian passport. We went to Ghana together. She was with her British passport. When we got to Ghana, applied for Ghanaian passport for her. Unfortunately, when the passport came, the sex, instead of putting female, they put male. We didn't check it until we came back to the UK and found out that they've made that error. How can we rectify this? And if so, do we have to come to the embassy to have a change? And is there any additional cost to that? Or is an error from the passport office, so it should be changed free of charge? Just want to find out.
Okay, I think with that, first it has to be investigated from Accra to find out whether the mistake was on the part of the applicants or the passport office. If it's established that the mistake was from the applicant, then it means the applicant will have to pay for the correction to be made. I mean, that means applying for a new passport. But then if it is a case that the passport office made that error, then the passport office will have to effect the correction at no cost. And yes, we can facilitate that. I mean, once we get it, we will find a way to discuss it with Accra and then forward for the correction to be made.
Thank you so much. It's been an engaging evening, definitely an engaging one. I'm sure their appetite is very high, and I thank you all for your cordial manner in which you have approached your questions. There's been a very positive ones and very constructive questions. We still have a few more, and I will kindly plead with my panelists to give me another 5-10 minutes to see how many we can call. But before we do, next forum, we have to obviously make you aware. As always, all we're trying to do is to give you interesting topics that will help you to make the right informed decisions when it comes to your dealings with Ghana. And so the next forum will look at investment in Ghana. For all of you who have plans to want to retire there or to go and settle there or want to go and do business, we are bringing you the CEO of Ghana Investment Promotion Center in the name of Yofi Grant and a board member along Mr. Alex Daddy to come and talk about all you need to know, the do's, the don'ts, and the gotchas, all the things you need to know. So 2 weeks from today, the same time at 7 p.m., we will love you to join us again and explore the potential of being part of a Ghana that we all desperately always want to be. Thank you very much. Please take note. The flyers will come around and pass it on. Tell somebody to tell somebody. I have a minute, but I'm going to ask my panelists, as I'm sure they don't mind. Hopefully, I know it's a long day. They have a long day. And I'm going to ask for 5 more minutes for 3 more questions. And then hopefully we can reschedule for another day. As they can see, there are very interesting conversations today. So I'll go straight to Kwadwo Donko, please. Kwadwo Donko.
Hello.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. Most of the questions I initially wanted to ask has been already answered, but I've got one which I think a lot of people from, let's say, Germany who haven't got the right to be dual would like to probably hear. This question, I raised it, I think, the year 2000, 2002, at the German embassy in Berlin. And it's to do with Ghanaians who are in countries who can have dual. We all know that born a Ghanaian, as Nanado said some time ago, is always a Ghanaian.
Because of time, please, can you ask the question, please? I understand the background. Because of time, we want to try.
Is there anything that the state can do, for example, that citizens of other countries, like those of us who are in Germany, who can prove their roots to Ghana, either by birth or by anything, would be able to come to Ghana and get visa on arrival, and also maybe at a subsidized price, because as it is, most of us own properties, we pay taxes, most of us open businesses there, and I'm using this when Germans wanted to have a lot of people to come to work. They recruited the Germans who went to stay in other countries during the war to come back home. So we can still tap on people who, when you have to come to Ghana to do something, you are a foreigner, so you have to go through.
Thank you, sir. I think the point you are trying to say is, can you get a visa on arrival for those of you who are in a country where dual nationality is not permitted? That is the question. Can any of my panelists please answer that? I understand you want to give much information. We appreciate and we value it. It's just that we should be finishing by now. I've only asked for 5 minutes and I want to go through 2 or 3 more questions. Any of my panelists, is there a point in Ghana airport or the Ghana airport where a visa can be issued if that person hasn't been able to for any reason?
Thank you for the question. I think visa on arrival, I think it was one of the issues that we were supposed to touch on, and so perhaps we use this question to address that. Visa on arrival is basically supposed to be visas issued to people traveling from countries where Ghana doesn't have missions, diplomatic representation. That is basic. But then, however, sometimes situation demands that people have to travel to Ghana under emergency, and so they may be coming from countries where we have missions, for which reason we issue visas, but then they are unable to process visas. That is basically an arrangement between the applicant and the Ghana Immigration Service. Missions do not really come in. If it's a concern that is being expressed, we can only convey that message to Ghana Immigration Service, but it is not something that a mission can say that, oh, we can do this or that when it comes to visa on arrival, because you need to initiate that arrangement with Ghana Immigration Service from wherever you are, and then they give you, I think, a letter so that you are allowed to board before you get to Ghana, and then you pay on arrival. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Shaz, your hand has been up for a long time. Shaz, please, Shaz.
Thank you very much. I think my question has been answered, but it's not very clear. I've got 2 children who've got British passports and dual citizen cards. You keep saying, you keep encouraging us to apply for the Ghanaian passport. What do I do? Before, because I'm going to travel soon with the children. Can we still go with the British passport and the dual citizenship cards, please?
Right, please.
Yes, you can travel on the dual citizenship card. There's no problem with that. And then we'll still encourage that you obtain the Ghanaian passports. Yeah.
Right. 1 chat-room questions, please. If you want to travel to Ghana and have not yet had any COVID vaccines due to health issues and are still under medical treatment and checkups, can you travel to Ghana? I know this is about passport and visa, but this is obviously an issue that people, not everybody in UK have been able to do. And if for medical reason they have not been able to do and they can prove it, are they allowed into the country at all?
Yes, the person will be able to travel to Ghana, because as I speak, I don't think there are any laws barring people from not traveling to Ghana if you haven't had the jabs. If only the person can do the required test, the required PCR test before travel, I think it's okay. He or she can travel to Ghana.
Thank you very much. 2 more questions and we will be rounding up. Monica Abassa, please. Monica.
Thank you very much, sir, for the privilege, and good evening to our honorable members and leaders in the House. Please, there's something that I would like to address straight forward. Often, when I travel to Ghana at the immigration, they ask you to come aside and open your bags. And when they open your bags and they see like 4 shirts or maybe 2 phones, they will ask you, why do you have 4 shirts or 2 phones or 3 phones? But you when you explain to them that you maybe to give it to a family member, so listen, they will ask you to, at times they take money from you. And for several years, this has been going on. My last experience was in April. I traveled to Ghana 16th of April. I'm going through under health issue. So doctors has given me a sick certificate. And also I'm not allowed to be in the queue. So they've given me another note, even in this country, in the UK, so that I don't queue for long. So what happened is, because of the COVID issues, we have to queue very long to do tests before we come out. So when I came out, all my 2 foot was swollen up, which I was really in pain. When I go to where I have to receive my results, my
Please,
test
is it a
result.
question?
Yes, it's a question. Yeah, I want to ask. The question is, I want to ask, why do we have to be checked after we receive our bags? Why does the immigration officers have to pull people aside, a lot of people aside, to ask them to open their bags? And at times they will be asking you to give them something which is not processed in the in the system.
Thank you. So why do people get pulled aside for further checks after you collected your luggage? I have also been traveling to Ghana many times, and I know when you are returning in UK here, immigration people are at liberty to pull you at any time. As to whether you have to give money, I have not experienced it. But if my panelists have anything to share on that, but it's not something that is only Ghana related. If they have any reason to believe that you have to open your bag, that is something they will do, irrespective of which country you are arriving or departing. So I think we should all be taking note of that. But panelists, if you have one more question, then I will run that, please.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I don't think it is Ghana immigration. What you're talking about is customs. So let us correct that.
Sorry, customs.
Giving immigration bad name. Yeah, it's the Ghana customs. And like you said, I mean, it could be for security reason, whatever. They have every right to search through your bags. They are there to ensure that things that are dutiable, I mean, the right taxes and duties are paid on some of the goods that are dutiable. However, if it is a case of extortion, then that is bad, and we need to condemn that. And I think that if you observe that as extortion, you have every right to protest.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Reese iPhone, Reese, and that's it. Reese, please. Do we have Reese still with us? If we can't get Reese, can I ask for Ralph, please? Ralph?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, are you Reese or Ralph?
It's Ralph, thank you.
Okay, please, thank you, go ahead.
Yeah, 2 questions. The first one, how long does it take to get a renewal appointment in the UK once you've applied for application in the UK?
Okay.
So this is a Ghana passport renewal.
Okay, so how long does it take to get your passport? Yeah.
Yes, it takes between 2 to 3 weeks.
2 to 3 weeks. Okay, thank you.
That is from the date that you submit your application to the High Commission in person and your biometrics are taken within 2 to 3 weeks. But of course, we just, like I explained earlier, we say 2 to 3 weeks, but certainly within 2 weeks, you should have your passport maximum.
Thank you. And the last question is, in Ghana, once you apply for the Ghana passport, I know it's around 200 cedis. Is that the final price, or do you need to pay anything more?
I think that's the final price. You don't need to pay anything more.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think that is all time will allow us for this evening. As a community leader and somebody who is in touch with a lot of you, I know some of you have experienced Ghana High Commission. There's a lot of good work being done. We also go there unannounced. These people are there working for us and with us. And I do ask all of you, please kindly, when you go there, let us be courteous and approach things in a manner. They are human beings. They can understand when your situations are above you and they need to assist. When you observe some of our attitude when we go to Highgate, sometimes it beggars belief. And we don't do that when we walk to Victoria for British passports. So let us all examine ourselves. I'm just offering this as an advice so that we can all work with them, and they are there to help us. They are not there to work against any Ghanaian here. And I want all of you to be assured of that. Thank you very much, panelists. Thank you, Mrs. Donkor, for the time this evening, a long day indeed. And for Mr. Usu-Ansah, thank you very much for agreeing with your team to be here. As you can see, when it comes to Ghana High Commission and passports and visas, 90% of Ghanaian issues in this country is about passport and visa, passport and visa, passport. So today, before you even logged on, we had already people waiting. So I will be kind enough to say if we can have a regular way of educating the public in this gathering, I think it will help us a lot to try and change the dynamics. On that note, I want to thank all my partners, the Ghana Nurses Association, the Ghana Union, the Western Regional Association of Nurses, and the Nightingale Association, and indeed Ghana High Commission for providing the personnel and endorsing this program. I also want to thank our sponsors, Express Pay, for being with us and supporting us through, and also the technical team, Paul, Linda, and Lillian, who are bringing this to you through technical means and getting this live. On that note, have a very good weekend, be well, and stay safe. Next 2 weeks, we'll be here and we'll be talking about investment in Ghana. Join us. Thank you very much. Good night.
Enjoy some fabulous rewards. Get a cool £10 reward when you receive £100 or more from the UK. Tell your friends and family in the UK to send money to your mobile money wallet or bank account using Express Pay and get an extra £10. Terms and conditions apply.